Hello, what's up, good people? Good to see you. Today we are talking about 4 best towns that you can actually start a small business. No matter the amount of money that you have with you, start a small business, grow yourself, and become one of the wealthiest individuals in our countries. These are the promising towns in Kenya that you can actually grow yourself wealthy with your small income, or rather with your small business that you can start out there. All right. But before we do that, before we talk about it, anyway, guess what? Take 1 second. Just down there on your right, there is a button written subscribe. It is in black. Just hit that button. Then on your left there is a like button. Hit those two magical buttons, and guess what happens? Because I know you're asking yourself, Joseph, what's the importance of that? The importance is this: once you do that, you get notified whenever I upload a new video, so you will never ever miss of my good videos, because good ones are coming as well. All right, so but today we are talking about 4 best towns that you can actually start a small business, grow yourself, and become one of the wealthiest individuals in our country. All right, so I'm gonna start in a descending on. I'm gonna start with I'm gonna start with the 4th best town in Kenya, and this is none other but, you guessed it right, that is Kakamega town. All right, this is a Luya land. It's one of the promising towns in Kenya. You find these towns, actually some of people are saying that it's worthy to be upgraded to a city or something else. It's actually a really developing town, and guess what, it lies on the transit end, whereby you find the people who are transiting from Kenya to Uganda, or from Uganda to Kenya. It's a town that they find amazing, and actually you can go ahead and start a good business out there. Rent in this town is not quite expensive compared to other big cities in our country. It's quite friendly. Perhaps you're there with your 200 or maybe 100 or something, or some few 80s or 70,000. You can start something and grow yourself to the next level. Number one, what makes this town the 4th best town in Kenya where you can start a small business is because the town has a quite good population. And remember one thing, people always make money. And what I say this is that, you know, when you have large population in a given area, these are the people who actually turns to be a potential customers. Of course, you cannot go to a desert and start a business because there will be nobody buying that specific product. So Kakamega town falls under one of the big towns in Kenya in terms of population. All right, so actually it's still another town that is surrounded by other bigger or smaller towns that are coming up at a very good rate, likes of Bungoma, likes of Vihiga, likes of Luanda, likes of Yala, likes of Mumias, and what have you. So it's a good place that you can actually decide, go ahead and do something about it. And by the way, some of the best businesses that can do good in this area are quite like food related businesses. You can do yourself some small services related businesses and such kind of things. And something like petrol station, if you have a kind of good cash, actually that can actually do good something with you. So Kakamega town is quite a good town, so think about it whenever you're doing your own months. And by the way, I always tell people, maybe perhaps you have some money there that it cannot be enough to start a big business or a small business in Nairobi. You can head over to Kakamega and do something. Remember, this is our country. You can go anywhere you want, right? Number 3, this is about Kisii town. Kisii town is quite one of the biggest and actually growing towns in Kenya. It's still a town that people are debating should be upgraded to a city status or something of sort. Kisii town is one of the richest counties or towns in Kenya. Actually, the same town happens to be the capital city of the Kisii County. So Kisii town is one of the busiest towns in Kenya. By the way, I heard that they already have what we call the central bank with them. Wow. And let me tell you one thing, even in Nakuru there is nothing like that, but in Kisii town they have it. So it tells you like it's a promising town that you can get yourself into it. And Kisii town happens to be morally or something, a town that is actually founded under the agricultural kind of a setup. The environment there, it's amazing in terms of growing. If you want to get yourself into farming, Kisii town is good for you. And also you want to start yourself some small businesses, like maybe say agrovet, you want to start like food related businesses. But I prefer you buying from Kisii and selling to other places, because honestly speaking, Kisii is not a hunger strike county or a town. It's quite a good town because it's surrounded by farmers and such kind of a town, such kind of a thing. Although competition is very high and stiff in Kisii town, you find people are actually business oriented and people are actually doing something in this big town, because you find like population is high, and whenever you realize that population is high in a certain place, then that means that people are doing something amazing when it comes to business. So you can think of that Kisii town and you can do something out of it. Actually, Kisii town falls under the Great Nyanza region, whereby you can actually get it. And by the way, other Kisii town is surrounded by other small towns like of Nyamira and something also. So you can actually go ahead and get yourself into this big town that is actually promising, and you can start somewhere and then grow yourself to the next level. And guess what? We are now under the top 2. And the second one that I found it best when it comes to doing business in terms of getting small or starting small and growing yourself to the next level is none other than Eldoret town. Eldoret town is actually, if there is a town that will be upgraded to a city status next in this country, for me, or according to me, I say it should be in the Eldoret town. This town has grown massively. Actually, some people are saying like when Nakuru was being given a city status, should be, at the same time be given to Eldoret town, because Eldoret town has grown to be a very big town. And I bet the reason as to why this town is growing at a very high rate, it's becoming sort of a cosmopolitan town where you find like all the tribesmen are found there, all the tribes people are found there. You may find business people there, you may find farmers there, you may find tech industry there, you may find fintech, fintech industry like finance and technology are found there. It's like a cocktail of different people who are found in that specific town that you can actually go ahead and do something about it. So it's a big town that you can actually think and go start a business about it. Also, the other thing that makes good about this town, it also falls under the transit town, whereby you find some of the trucks that are heading over to South Sudan and such, so usually pass through the Eldoret town and other countries outside our region. So found through the Eldoret town. So Eldoret town is quite a big town, although it's kind of weird the way that town is arranged. It's because it's like found through a highway or something, like a highway passes through the town. But anyway, I don't know who planned it, but anyway, that's a good thing. It's a good town. You can go ahead and start a business with it. Life is quite affordable in this area because you find like we have farmers surrounding the areas. Like, by the way, did you know that the basket of Kenya, where we get majority of our food, is usually from not really Eldoret town, but from a place called Kitale or something of so. And Kitale isn't far from Eldoret town. So if you can get yourself into cereal business, you can get yourself into fuel business, you can get yourself into service business, you can get yourself into health industries. And by the way, one of the biggest referral hospital in Kenya is found in Eldoret. That is Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital. Also, they pride themselves to having one of the biggest institutions called the Moi University. So you can go ahead and do something and invest in that. So you see, in an institution, of course, you can get yourself into rentals, you can get yourself into hostels, you can get yourself into service industry like hoteliering, you can get yourself restaurants and something of sort. So it's a town that you should be thinking of. You want to get yourself into this place whereby you can invest and get something out of it. And I always repeat this point: don't cling yourself to one place and feel like, okay, fine, just say I have like 200,000 and I'm still feeling like it's not enough for me living in Nairobi or something of sort. So you can think about that and go ahead and start a business about it. So anyway, it's a big town. And guess what? We are now at the best town in Kenya where you can start small business, grow yourself, and move to the next level. This is a town that I did set it. We always say you save last for the best or save best for the last, all right? So this is a town that actually, I know most of you will agree, and some of you don't even have the information, but I'm gonna reveal up to you. Then the best town where you can start a business and small and grow yourself is Nakuru City. And by the way, I cease calling it town because it's no longer a town, it's a city. It has been upgraded. It is the newest baby in terms of the city classes in Kenya. It's the new city that you have in Kenya, and a lot of things are picking up very well. If you go to that place, you realize that a lot of roads are being built, the infrastructure are being made. You find like there is a bulging population, a lot of people, there is a high demand of rental housing. Of course, when there is a high demand of rental house, then tells you there is existence of human, and when there is existence of human, then means that they need food, they need shelter, they need clothing, they need services, they need all those things. And by the way, I'll give you reason and authenticate as to why I made this town as the first one when it comes to investment. This is because you find that this town, most of the great giants of the supermarkets that you have in Kenya, or we used to have in Kenya, came from the same Nakuru. I remember there was a big, what do you call the supermarket called Nakumat, originated from Nakuru. There was another one called Tuskys, originated from Nakuru. And by the way, the current one that you have are inspired by that or those specific towns, or rather supermarkets that originated from that former Nakuru town, which is now Nakuru City. So it's a big town. You find some of the tech big industries are found in Nakuru. You also found like they pride themselves having like the military bases, like the Kenya Military Academy, the only one in our country. It is found in Nakuru, in Lanet area. They're coming up with an airstrip there. So that means that they also have like a very big national park there. It's kind of close like to Nairobi. You find like they have a Nakuru National Park, like the Nairobi, they have Nairobi National Park or something of sort. They also pride themselves with having surrounded by the farmers. And by the way, Nakuru happens to be one of the cities in Kenya that actually kind of have big towns with at the same time. Like Naivasha is a very big town, actually worth to become its own county, but guess what? It's still within Nakuru. They have still another town called Gilgil. They have another one called Subukia. They have Njoro. They have Molo. They have Elbagon. They have, whoa, I'm telling you, the types of towns that surround this specific city, it's unending. And by the way, the other thing, it falls to be this the cheapest town you can ever live in Kenya. Yeah, you can just head over to the Google and type like the cheapest town to live in Kenya. Nakuru will pop out. We'll never miss in that list. It's one of the cheapest town you can ever, or city. Oh my goodness. I'm calling it town. Why? It's a city. So it's one of the cities that you can ever live in Kenya. It's very much affordable. The reason as to why that Nakuru becomes one of the cheapest town to live in. Well, I'm talking too much about Nakuru because I know much about it. So because it's surrounded by the farmers. Yeah, you know, most of the surrounding areas like Dondori, Njoro, Molo, and Satka, and all those areas are actual farmers whereby they supply all those goods into the town. So you find like it has a vibe of both Ushago and city at the same time. It's kind of complex and makes it quite affordable. It's also cool and serene. It's like the California of the US, and the Nairobi is the New York of the US. You get the thing? That's the difference. So it's quite a good and amazing town. Also, these issues of insecurities, and like recently there was sort of a rise of, you know, some small areas whereby, some pocket areas whereby you find like people are misbehaving, but the issue was cooled down and everything now is back into place and everything is okay. So yeah, that actually all those vibes makes it one of the best places. You can head over there with your small money and you can invest and grow yourself to the next level. Well, I know some people feel like, okay, I should have named another town. Some other towns that I feel are quite promising when it comes to business are likes of Nanyuki or the Laikipia. Others one are like Meru, others one are like, but for me, I'll leave the big cities in Kenya like Mombasa, Kisumu, and Nairobi. I'll leave those three because rent is quite expensive and life is not quite cheap as you may think, but you can think about other smaller business or other smaller towns that you have in Kenya. Also, Thika, not quite friendly for people when starting small, but it's a good place if you can go ahead and start something about it. Nyeri, I tried to look at Nyeri, but Nyeri is not yet promising, but it's quite good. It's still somewhere, it's growing up and everything, it's okay. But anyway, tell me on the comment section down below, tell me, hey, which other town do you think is good for, you know, when you're starting up a small business? All right, so anyway guys, don't forget, if you manage to reach this video up to this particular point, guess what I can say? It's a very thank you, and don't forget to hit that subscription button. And where is it? Was it there? Down below on your right there is a button written subscribe. Just hit it, then give this video a thumbs up, share it out if you're in a position to. Comment down below, tell me which other town do you think I've left it behind and I should have included in Kenya. Which one do you think I should have included? All right, so perhaps you're out there, you would like to start a business and you're a bit confused. Maybe you have your money in the bank and you're like, okay fine, I would like to start a business, but I don't know where exactly I can start it. Don't worry, I'm here and I'm here in a mean business. All right, you can get a booklet of mine that I've prepared about business plans. I got it. About business ideas, I have it. If you do not have one, I have booklets about shares, money market fund, and all those treasury bills, treasury bonds, and what have you. You can get your copy. And how do you do that? Very simple. I'm gonna pin my number in the comment section, and I'll still write my number on the description of this specific video. So don't let left behind. Pick it. Let's do business and let's move to the next level. A copy it's only $220. Let's meet there. For now, it's a goodbye and see you in the next one.